right. Now, I believe I have this. I believe I have this together. We're going to find out because I'm going through all the things right now, and that's okay because it's Friday. It's Friday. I'm feeling fairly good. We are getting ourselves together for a beautiful weekend. Just me and the hubs, or I should say, the husband and I, if I was being very proper with my English. But it is Friday. So let me do this. Let me play some music and then we will get ourselves together. Yes. Always dancing, always, always. Good afternoon. It is Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. Whew, that's a mouthful. But I love that mouthful because it's my name and I love it. Welcome to Guuuuurl Listen. It is Friday and we are streaming to LinkedIn and YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, where I have to say it's a better experience, I would love it if you would like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Typically this show, it airs every other Friday because there's so much going on over here, like a lot. Sometimes this Virgo, she does some Virgo things, you know what I'm saying? But lately we have been going live every Friday, particularly because it's September. And September is filled with so many memorable days from the 1st up until darn near the end of the month. There is a lot that's happening here. So as you can see, we still have the birthday celebration. Yeah, now first of all, I celebrate the whole entire year. Like it doesn't have to be my particular birthday. We are going to celebrate the self no matter what day it is. But to have a little sparkly something on is it's great too. I really do appreciate the decoration. So it's gonna stay up there for a little bit longer. How much longer? I don't know. The confetti from last Friday's party is still here. There was confetti falling from the ceiling not too long ago. So that's still here. It's going to be hanging out on the floor for maybe another few weeks because I'm not rushing to clean it up. But there is still one more confetti cannon, which my husband, God bless him, rolled his eyes at me when I told him there is still one more cannon. And why is there one more cannon? Two reasons. One, I have G-Day next week on the 25th. September 25th is my anniversary, but there is also the wedding anniversary on September 24th, which I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to just talk about my relationship, I think just for like a smidge of time. So let me get some things together. First of all, it is TGIFF. That G is Fire Fridays. We started here at 4 o'clock Central on Guuuuurl Listen. And then we roll over to Indie Soup Media, where we get a replay of Guuuuurl Listen. And also, Ladies Listen Up. We're in season 2. Season 2 is coming to an end. And, it was I can't believe it's already been season. Like we've done 2 seasons already. We as in me, myself, and I have a whole crew. We are working on season 3 already. We have the theme. I have a couple of guest invites that need to go out. And then we'll be wrapping that up because, again, Virgos stay doing Virgo things. You know what I'm saying? As like planning. But also, I want to talk about the Veiled Vault, where you can get your Guuuuurl Listen, Small Biz Bites, and Ladies Listen Up merch, wine glasses, tumblers, mugs. I myself have the notebook, and I love the notebook. I do. It has a great reminder. I love it. Give yourself the space and grace to grow and learn. Absolutely love that daily reminder. And I keep all of my stuff in here. Not like important things, so not passwords, stuff like that. But I keep all of my, what am I working on? So my 3 things to get done for the day, and then we check it off. And if I get that done, then I'll work on something else. But absolutely love the notebook. So let me get into my story today, because you're like, Gwendolyn, don't nobody care about that? Well, maybe you don't, but maybe you do. But I'm going to celebrate the hubs today. I'm going to celebrate my husband, and I'm going to start off with something very simple. That yes, he proposed in a parking lot. A parking lot. Now, some of you have probably already heard the story. Perhaps you've heard this story. And this is my this is my love story. And I believe everybody really does appreciate a really good love story. But more than anything, when I talk about the realities of relationships, it's another job. Having any relationship with anybody, including yourself, it is work. If you're not willing to do the work, then there's just no need in getting into another relationship, i.e., taking on another job with some other human, if you haven't worked on this right here. So keep that in mind. But the love story is funny because a couple of things. We're in a season right now when there's a lot of focus on women and the role of women. And there are 2 parties. I'm going to really say it's just 2 parties at play here. You have the party that believes in the traditional role that was more than likely created by some man, that a woman is less than, and that she, to a certain extent, is property, and her sole purpose is to birth children and take care of the people, take care of the household, and damn herself. Okay, great. That's what you want. Happy for you. There is another school of women who said, look, I'm an individual. The good Lord put me here for something more than just birthing children. Okay. I have wants and needs and dreams and geniuses that need to be shared with the world. We can still be together. We can still be the wife, mother, auntie, grandmother, all the things. However, what I'm not going to do is dim my lights and play down to my potential. Not going to do it. Those are your 2 classes. Those are your 2 classes. If you don't know where I stand, then I don't know what show you've been watching up to this point. Because it's clear where I stand. It is clear when I met my husband that he understood who he was going to marry. Now, I tried out a couple of dating apps, right? We tried out a couple. And there were some times where I met some guys, but it was clear that they weren't really ready to, 1, do the work, and then 2, they weren't honest with what they were looking for. I believe wholeheartedly in being honest with yourself. Like, people talk about Ashley Madison, how it was awful to have this dating app where people could cheat. I just believe if you don't want to be in a relationship, then just don't get with somebody. Like, if you want to just do whatever you want to do with whomever, then do that. But don't get into a relationship for the sole purpose of the excitement of cheating on somebody. It's baloney, right? Find you some people who think like you and get together and be happy. I mean, how hard can that be? But when it comes to women, there is this idea that if we don't have a mate, something's wrong with us. We must be damaged goods. We must be going against the grain. No man wants a woman who's independent, all that other BS. Here's the deal. Here's the real deal. There was a point where women didn't have a choice. We were, in essence, and for some people are still seen as property. And in order for a woman to get out of her parents' house, she had to get married to some other guy because she couldn't own anything. She didn't have access to her own money. She couldn't get a checking account or car without some man's approval because property. And then when the laws shifted, there was a thing that said people are recognizing who they are, i.e. those women. They recognize who they are, and that what? The story of having to have a guy help me do all these things is no longer necessary. Do I want to mate? Yes. Do I want a partner? Yes. Do I have to have it to be whole and fulfilled and seen and recognized? No, I don't. So for some guys who are still not bringing anything to the table, they just don't understand. How is it that I am man and no woman is like fawning over me or putting up with the BS? Because you ain't brought nothing, bruh. You got to bring something to the table. When we talk about partnership, we are talking about really doing the work with some people, i.e., it is a job. And the two of us together are working on this job together to go to a mutual finishing line, goal, end results, destination, call it what you want. But you're working together. When you look at those vows, the vows that people take at their wedding, good times, bad times, sickness, health, it's work. There will not always be sunshine and rainbows out here. There's going to be some dark days. And then your character shows up or the lack of character shows up, one or the other. So you're going to ask yourself, what are you looking for? Do you want a maid? Then get a goddamn maid. Get an escort. Buy whatever it is you need, but don't take up somebody's space and their time with your BS when you're not ready. Having said all that, we were on a dating app twice. And in between those times that it didn't work out, I would take a break and just focus on Gwendolyn and really ask myself, what am I looking for? Because I realized, one, I didn't want kids. I love my grandbabies. I love my nieces, my nephews, all my children. I love them dearly, but I didn't want that 24-hour caregiving job. I am a nurturer, but I am also not that responsible. I am that auntie, right? We go, hey, we get some things, we scrapping. Yeah, I'm not. So I'm not that person. I'm not. And that's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's good. But there was also that message of, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? Are you going to get married? Are you going to be? Because without it, women are just what? We're happy. Believe it or not, women are happy because that's not the only thing that we are here for. So I got to a place of, I wanted a partner. I had lowered my standards of meeting someone to the place of, if I could just have a partner that I could go out with to dinner, to the movies, to the museum. When I wanted a partner, I was happy with that. Happy with it. Because trying to hold, and I say try, attempting to hold a decent conversation with some of these people, with some of these dudes, was awful. Because again, the message they had was, I am man. Women should just fall over me. Well, the reality is you're not bringing enough to the table to talk to or attract the type of woman that is out here nowadays. Yo half-ass BS ain't gonna get it. You're gonna have to bring something else to the table. Sir, you gotta bring something else. Peace of mind is amazing. And not having to deal with someone else's BS just because is amazing. I don't think people understand how intoxicating freedom is. You don't get it. So you're not fighting women for other women or anything else. You are asking somebody to give up a little bit of their space and time and attention for what? That's the question. So I got on this site with the idea of finding a partner. That was it. If I could just get someone to do a simple dinner date, then maybe who knows what would happen. Maybe. Who knows? That was my plan. So that's how we get to this place. That's how we get here of Mr. Jack proposing in a parking lot. I know you're like, what? Yeah, he did. So let me give this really quick reminder to anybody, male, female, binary, like any and everyone, you alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anybody. Absolutely nothing. You're enough. You're enough. If you are blessed to have someone to spend some time with, that's a blessing. but you don't have to have it to be whole. You're a whole by yourself. And then the person who comes into your life to complement you and only your tomfoolery is a blessing. That's what that is. So the husband sent me a note on the dating app. You know, he was going through the thing because my dear friend, she said, look, take your online offline and stop overthinking the process. Because I was a Virgo, go do some Virgo things. I had questions. I had to make sure these were like, you know, figured out. And the people who I was figuring out was like, this is whack. This is whack and you're whack. And I don't like your awful grammar. So we're going to have problems. So no. So I stopped looking at the profiles. I just said, let me just go on energy. Whatever energy I'm getting, I'm going to vibe with that. And Mr. Jack came up and, you know, sent some messages. It was very decent and cordial. And I was like, okay, let's see if we can do a meet and greet. Because I was just doing some meet and greets. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Let's see if we're vibing. If not, then no harm, no foul. If we are, maybe we can get a dinner date. We can meet up, blah, blah, blah. So we actually we had a great meet and greet. It went for like, I don't know, 2.5 hours, maybe 3. Just talking about all the things we had in common. We had a very similar job. We had traveled for our jobs. So we had all these things in common. I thought this is actually really great conversation right now. I even had my friend Jan do the emergency phone call just in case stuff was like, I needed like a way out. Just in case I needed a way out. She was my emergency phone call. And I didn't, clearly we didn't need it. But she did call. I was like, nope. The eagle is still flying. You're good. She's like, okay, I'll talk to you on Monday. Which when we talked on Monday, she was like, this guy, he's the one for you. I could feel it. He's the one. And I thought, okay, we just had like a meet and greet, calm down. But he did later on that day. He sent me a text, invited me out to dinner. And I thought, okay, well, let's do dinner. All right. And then one dinner became another dinner, And I thought, okay, this may be going somewhere. So, you know, when I think about my husband and just us in general, having someone that you can just talk to, man, there is something special there. My husband and I, we talk a lot. Now, I don't talk his ear off. This is mutual here, right? We'll do our road trips and we'll just pick a topic and go places and talk about stuff, even after work, right? Like after work, we have our after work call, 5:00, unless I'm recording or something or in a podcast. We have our 5:00 call. We talk about our day. We download the day. So when he gets home, then we're not going to talk about the day anymore because the day is done. Like we don't want to bring that into the house. Like it's done. But we talk about all the stuff and it's random topics, things in the news, food, music, something he saw on Instagram, but we talk often, which if I could say anything for any relationship anywhere, you've got to talk to each other. Like you have to talk to each other and really hear what the person is saying. It's not, I'm talking at you. We are in a conversation. We are having a great conversation. So we met, like our meet and greet was the first Saturday in May. And by my birthday, i.e. September, he wanted to do this sunset horseback ride in Austin. And I thought, okay, we can do a trip together. And everybody's like, oh my God, he's going to propose. And I was like, I don't think it's that, because it had, let's see. So that's May, so June, July, August. It's like 4 months, right? It's like, I know, really, it's not. Like we were spending a lot of time together. Met the grandbaby. Well, okay, so the grandson was not a baby, but you know what I'm saying. So, you know, we had a lot of time together, but I thought, no, this is not that. We had weekend dates where he would plan for a 3-day date, which is actually very, what's the word? Bold. Yeah. You know, he was doing his thing. But I thought, no, he's not going to. But as we took the trip, And on the way up there, I started getting these ideas up, but what if? So I had to ask myself, okay, well, Gwendolyn, what if he does propose? Then what? Because I hadn't let myself go there. I didn't allow myself to go there. Because I thought it's only been 4 months. And what you don't want is to be disappointed, right? But somewhere along that trip to Austin, I went there. So we're at the ranch, standing by the horses, waiting for our horse ride to start. And he goes to the car and he comes back with this bag. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it's happening. Oh my goodness, what is happening? And so he comes and it's not a ring. It's this necklace. As a matter of fact, it's this necklace. Now, he had asked me before what I would want for my birthday. And I said, I would love, if you're really going to do it, a Le Creuset Dutch oven, skillet, any piece. Because Le Creuset is not cheap. It's not. But it is very much a great gift. And I appreciate practical gifts, right? Like I'll ask for toothbrushes. I'll ask for WeatherTech mats for the car. Like I'm that chick. But he went with the necklace because his daughter said, she said, Daddy, she don't want a pot. Okay, I actually want the pot, but I got a necklace, which I obviously love. And in that moment, I thought, you shouldn't have gone there, Gwendolyn. You shouldn't have gone there. So we got back to the hotel and he's like, hey, is your ring finger itching? And I was like, no, I took a shower. I'm feeling pretty good. And he was like, no. Is your ring finger itching? And it's like, I'm not understanding. Sometimes I don't get it. It's like, he's like, I was looking for rings. I was looking for a promise ring. I said, people still do that? And he was like, yeah. He said, I was looking for something for you. Do you want 1 carat, 2 carats? I was like, pfft. So I didn't think anything of it. I really didn't. So I get to work and they're like, show us the ring. It's like, there's no ring. There was no proposal. And somewhere deep inside, because I gotten so hyped up by my colleagues, I was a little disappointed. I said to myself, this is why you don't go there. Because now you're disappointed that here is this brass ring that for some of us, we're reaching for. And I wasn't really reaching for it, but then I realized, wow, the idea that somebody would be like, I think I can deal with her foolishness to the end of time or whatever comes first. I think I can do it. Right? You're like, oh, seriously? Huh. So I got sick and he came to the apartment, brought me some soup and everything. And we had this thing of going to Steak and Shake, getting shakes. They're slow as molasses, but we really like their shakes. So we're out and we're in the parking lot, which is also a show. The stuff that goes on in parking lots, people, trust. So we're watching these people do all kinds of ridiculous stuff. And we're having our shakes. And my husband carries his tablet with him. And he asked again, he was like, what size ring do you want? 1, 2, 3 carats. And I thought, this guy, here he go again. And he showed me he's actually shopping for a ring while I'm in the car. And I thought, this man, not doing it. I'm not doing it. But Jackie Wilson comes on the radio and he's like, Gwendolyn. He's like, Gwendolyn, I need a moment. And I thought, okay, we'll take all the moments you want, kid, because we're in your car. And then he says to me, will you marry me? And I said, are you crazy? Like that was the immediate response. And he looked at me like, that wasn't the response I was looking for. And I said, yeah, I know, right? When you think of these romantic moments, and I get people do all this stuff, and they're like, he planned it. He called for a photographer. All my friends were there. There were balloons. Let me tell you something real quick. When the moment hits you, you're not going to have all this. Sometimes it really is just a matter of, hey, the moment has hit me. I am really digging you. I'm going to go ahead and do this proposal in the parking lot of Steak and Shake. It doesn't make it any less than. It's just as loving and as honest. If anything, it is the most honest thing. Absolutely loved his proposal. I think it's one of the best stories I could have ever tell in my time. And we wanted to, well, I should say my husband planned most of this wedding. Now, I did the details and the logistics, but he wanted to get married to the date. So September 24th. Luckily for us, it fell on a Sunday, which is cheaper when it comes to getting a reception hall or a chapel. It is cheaper to get married on a Sunday. It's been on what season, but it is cheaper. And so he wanted to do the wedding that he's always wanted. So I was not the bridezilla. Gwendolyn was not that person. I was like, look, we can do it in the backyard, BYOB, call it a day. My mother said, your father is not having that. He is walking his daughter down the aisle. I was like, okay, I guess so. Because, although I did have a wedding dress and then a reception dress. If I am paying for a party, trust me, I am going to eat, drink, and dance. End of story. So we took photos with all of our guests. And then I went back, changed, and came back and I bought it. Because it's like, I'm paying for this, so I'm finna enjoy this too. Like, we just not finna be sitting around and like not enjoying ourselves. That is not how this is going down. So we had a great wedding. We are looking at 7 years on the 24th, 7 years, which is great. It's great. I did a session, a 5-year session for us in 2022. That, because I'm a photographer, I'm going to take our own photos. Would we hire somebody? We did. We hired Corey Williams Photography for our wedding photos, which were great. And our wedding video, he did a great job. We hired him for that. But like when I'm just out and about here, we take photos. I take our photos. We have a remote control for those things. But 7 years is what we are celebrating. And it's work, but it's also worth it. My husband definitely gets me, and I appreciate him giving me the space. As our vows said, the freedom to be the person that I am. He gives me that space. He knows he's dealing with a whole bunch of foolishness sometimes, but he appreciates the foolishness. He knew coming in, eyes wide open, what he was getting into. But let me show this quick little clip from when we did our 5-year session.
Don't know how much you mean to me, baby. I can't put it in words. You don't know how much you give to me, baby.
Oh, my husband. Yeah. He puts up with the multiple photo sessions. He's a good sport. He will tell me no 5,000 times, and yet and still somehow I managed to get him in front of the camera for 15, 20 minutes to pop, get the pictures and go about his business. So what can I tell you? But we will be celebrating our 7 years this weekend, hence that's why we're doing this the way we're doing it. Do not be surprised if you see my timeline everywhere else filled with my tomfoolery, i.e. the love for my husband and our relationship, because I do love him that much. And I love our kids, love our grandkids, and my parents. My father loved my husband. And I mean that, like, he loved my husband. So as I sign off, a couple of things. One, get on the GRH Jack email list. You can go to grhjack.com to get on that list, to get a little bit of here and there with the podcast, and also some, what's the word? Affirmational messages. Yeah, because I'm good for a good word. You want to get on that and enjoy this weekend. Take time for yourself. Take time for your loved ones, because you won't get this time back. And we will see you all next Friday. Deuces. Thank you for watching another episode of Guuuuurl Listen. Be sure to tune in every other Friday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we also invite you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.